서울에서 이제 외국인들이 여행할 때 이제 일주일에서 혹은 뭐 길게는 3, 4개월 이상 거주할 때 좋은 지역을 오늘 소개를 하려고 하는데 그 첫 지역이 이제 홍대죠. 위치는 어디쯤 있나요?
Yeah, Hongdae is located at the northwest side of Seoul. So if you look at Seoul, there is a river going through the middle of the city. And that river is called the Han River. And Hongdae is at the north side of that river, north and west.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so it's right in that area. It's 8 subway stations away from Incheon International Airport. And it also has an express line where you can just travel from the airport within 1 hour.
Yes.
So it's very close to the airport as well. And the fee to use the public transportation in Korea is really cheap.
Yes.
Compared to the other countries worldwide. And it is a really advantage point for the foreigners or travelers to come to Korea and have a very easy access to travel, and it's very clean as well, unlike New York or London underground. This really makes it a really good convenient way to travel around Seoul and around Korea.
그 말한 대로 홍대 위치가 저는 진짜 좋다고 생각하거든요.
Yeah, that's true. After next to Hongdae, there is an area called Hapjeong, where Blackpink's agency is at. And everyone knows that's YG Entertainment.
Blackpink area.
Yeah.
Blackpink
area, man. And this place, since it's right next to Hongdae, it's easy for people to travel and see lots of K-pop shops and experience a lot of diverse K-pop cultures as well. So Hongdae is right in the middle, and around it, there are other good areas. And as an example, I just used the area Hapjeong. But there are also other areas like Sinchon and Ide, where those places are considered the top places to visit for anime fans as well.
Oh, Annie.
Yeah.
AOT.
Yeah, AOT, man. So if you go to Hongdae, it's more about a club life and everything about fashion to different style of clothing. And around it, you go to Hapjeong, Blackpink, a lot of K-pop culture, YG Entertainment. And around it, next to it, there's Sinchon and Ide as well, like I mentioned. And they have lots of top anime goods and cafes, and all sorts of Japanese anime vibes for people to enjoy. And it has the biggest Volks shop. It's called Volks, Volks, Volks shop, where you can get and see a lot of anime figures and posters and pictures as well. It's like one of the biggest shopping malls.
맞아요. 이게
Yeah, man.
일본 그 가게들이 되게 많더라고. 거기.
Yeah.
그 피규어나 뭐 원피스 그리고 뭐 나루토,
Yeah.
뭐 AOT 뭐 되게 블라블라 엄청 많다. 근데 주변에 그 공덕역도 되게 가깝게 있잖아요. 저는 뉴스를 봤거든요. 종종 안 좋은 소식이 공덕역에서 들리는데 이거에 대해서 혹시 알고 있어요?
Yes. It's because there's a lot of pseudo religion kind of group of people residing there. And it's not just in news. If you just look at the news, you wouldn't get the full experience. You have to be there and experience it yourself. And Gongdeok is obviously very close to Hongdae. It's right next to it as well. And it's a place where you get to see a lot of pseudo-religion individuals asking you for money and shit like that. And they usually move about throughout the whole day, walking around in pairs. So they don't work alone. There's always 2 of them or 3 of them, walking around, starting a conversation to you. And you can tell by how they look without talking to them, because the clothes they wear, some is some downgraded clothes, and you just know there's a weird dirty vibe to them, and they look soulless in the eyes anyway. Yeah, so that's the problem in that area, where you, as a foreigner, they don't give a shit if you're a foreigner. They speak good English as well. That's the problem. It's not like they're uneducated. They are educated. And they know what they're talking about. But at the end of the day, it's all about them trying to take you into their like facility, make you kind of pray and shit like that, and they ask you for money. It's fucking weird.
그 넷플릭스의 JMSA
Oh yeah,
그거 보셨죠?
예,
그거랑
JMS.
비슷한 류죠.
yeah, man. So in Korea, there's a lot of cults. I'm sure there are a lot more in the other countries as well. But in Korea, religion is a very serious and heavy topic. But it's also very widely known for people to use as a crime.
뭐 대처를 어떻게 해야 될까? 외국인한테도 말 걸 거 아니야?
Yeah. So like the best thing to do is just ignore them.
No,
Like, yeah, just ignore them. Don't talk to them. Nothing like that. Even if you just say hi, oh no, thank you, that provokes a conversation for them to lead on. Oh, where are you from? You look so nice. You look so beautiful. They always start with a compliment. Or where did you get that clothes? How long are you staying in Korea? And stuff like that. And their operating systems and areas are throughout the whole of Seoul, but mainly in Hongdae. But that leads into Hongdae as well. So
점점
yeah, you have to be careful not to start a conversation with them, and that's the best way to prevent.
이런 종교에 대해서 일단 이야기하면 되게 의심해야겠네요. 외국인들은 처음일 수 있으니까 이게.
Yeah, man, because they are like fucking predators under the mask of religion. And some of them are just really young. They're like college students as well. They're not just old people or like fucked up looking people. They're young people, educated people.
요새 예쁜 애들 쓴다고 하더라고.
Yeah, and they also
멋있고.
use pretty girls to fucking lure the, let's say, prey. I don't want to use the word prey, but yeah, to them you're prey. So yeah, they want to lure you into their surroundings and their facility. You gotta be careful about that. They won't let you out until you give them money and shit. They will exploit you to the max.
홍대 주변에 이미 근데 가면 외국인들이 되게 많거든요. 거리에도 그렇고 이미 살고 있는 외국인도 많고. 근데 이제 그 이유가 대학이 되게 여러 개 있잖아요. 자취하는 교환학생들이 많아요. 그래서 그 교환학생만큼 나이대가 다 어린 친구들이 되게 많더라고요.
Yeah.
그리고 관광객도 되게 많고. 그래서 여기는 제가 몇 번 갔을 때는 외국인 보기 되게 쉬운 동네고 되게 젊음이 느껴지는 동네라고 느껴졌어요, 저는.
Yeah. Hongdae is one of the three main places to go to for nightlife in Seoul because there's a lot of universities around that area, like you said. And one thing about Korea University is the mindset is you go to university, the first and the second year is partying year. It's a freshman year. Yeah, so you don't need to study at all because it's so hard to go to university in Korea in the first place. Where in the West, once you go to the university, you have to study every year for the test to pass, then go to the next year, right? In Korea, the system is, oh, yeah, you got into this university and it's considered a good university. Then the first year and the second year, you get to party like a fucking beast. That's where, some good relationships form. And in the other hand, some of them break down, but that's the part of the animal ecosystem, so to speak. Yeah, so that's why they're very heavily concentrated, like the clubbing culture and the drinking culture. That's why one of the reasons they're so developed. And out of the three main areas in Seoul to go have a good time and have a good nightlife, number 1 is Gangnam, 2 Itaewon, number 3 is Hongdae. Hongdae is the cheapest out of those three, and Hongdae is the most young out of those three because they're all in their early 20s or early 30s max. You don't see 30s to 40s.
30 거의 없을
Yeah.
거야 아마.
Hongdae is mostly 95%, 98% early 20s. So it's a lot of young vibe there. Song themes in the club, they're like hip-hop. A lot of
맞아,
EDMs as well, but
유명하지.
mostly it's hip-hop. And if you go to a drinking kind of shops, yeah, like pubs and stuff like that. It's very common for the students or foreigners or for travelers to hook up because that culture is already embedded in that area.
목요일, 금요일, 토요일이 사람 제일 많죠. 그리고
Yeah, man. Thursday to Sunday. Boom. That's like the 4 main days that you want to concentrate on going to if you want to have a good time. Most of the shops are 24/7 anyway. So you can eat, party, sleep, wake up, eat, party, sleep again, like whatever. It's easy to do that. And if you want to try a good street food, there's a street full of like foods and caravans. If you just go out of exit number 9 station in Hongdae, the subway station, exit number 9. Once you leave that exit and you come out into the main road, you see straight away a lot of caravans selling food. And then once you go into that road, that's where you see a lot of meat restaurants as well. And you see a lot of people busking in that street.
맞아, 저도 그런 데 봤어요.
Yeah. There's not a lot of place in Seoul where you can see busking or you can see people doing like performance art in the streets. But Hongdae is like one of the main places you could go and enjoy that freedom of culture and art.
맞아, 여기선 주말에 버스킹하는 거를 저도 자주 봤고 그 음식점 주변에 공터에서 보통 하죠. 거기서. 여기는 옷가게가 그리고 되게 많은 것 같아요.
Yeah, like there used to be more clothing shops way back in the days. Now it's, numbered down a bit, but still there are a lot of fucking piercing shops, tattoo shops, clothing shops, where you get a lot of diversity in fashion as well, and not too much judging.
Judge?
Yeah, judge the other person, how they look. They have this stereotype on how you should look, but Hongdae is a very free place to express yourself, just like Itaewon. So it's a good vibe. And all the clothing shops, they're not branded. So you get a lot of independent fashion related clothes in Hongdae. Whereas in Gangnam or other places, it's all branded. So you get like a fixed style and color. But in Hongdae, like I said, you get a lot of freedom of expression. And you get that from the clothing shop as well. They're independently owned with independent fashion, stylist and stuff like that. So if you want to have a good unique style, go to Hongdae.
그렇다면 홍대가 이제 장점들이 되게 많은데 외국인이 살기에 단점은 뭐가 있어요?
If you don't like too much noise, or if you don't like too much, people around you, if you want a quiet place, you don't want to go to Hongdae.
너무 사람 많으니까.
Yeah, there's so many people there. It's one of the most crowded places you can go in Seoul. The nightlife, the university, the fashion, the food, everything is 24/7. So if you want to have a quiet place, then you don't want to have an accommodation in Hongdae. Maybe you want to go to another area where it's more quiet around Hongdae, because there's plenty of that as well. So yeah, that's one disadvantage of being in Hongdae for a long time. If you want to, stay and sometimes have a time on your own. So that's one part. Other than that, everything's all good because the location is perfect. The people are good. They're not so like narrow-minded. They have open minds, open fashion, young vibe, nice-looking people as well. Nice food and everything. So a lot of more advantage point to see than a disadvantage. And if you want to talk about the price, which is very important, you don't want to pay too much. Or if you want to pay a shed loads of money, you want that quality in return, right? But you're not gonna get that in Hongdae because it's an expensive area. Like I say, it's a crowded area. It's very popular. So let's say if you pay like $200 a night in Hongdae compared to where you would pay $200 in other places, which we'll talk about in the next video. You might not get the same quality. You know, it might be small and stuff like that. And around Hongdae, there is, like I said, Hapjeong, you know, Blackpink, YG Entertainment, and there's a place called Yeonnam-dong as well. And they are rich areas. And in Hapjeong, yeah, if I remember correctly, Hapjeong, they have the most expensive apartment, which is called Mesanopolis apartment complex. So that being in there raises the land price around that area as well, including Hongdae.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the accommodation in Hongdae may be small or too expensive for you to cover, for you to stay there long term.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want good accommodation, good price, good quality, and good transportation, then we'll cover that in the next video.
오케이. 다음 영상에서 조금 이제 홍대보다는 조금 저렴한
Yeah.
곳을 소개하도록 하겠습니다. 뭐 재밌는 것도 좋지만 비용이 제일 코스트가 제일 중요하니까.
Yeah. Price is very important. Yeah, very important.
오케이. See you again next video.
Leo, man.